Welcome guys to Resto Designs and to the Friday workshop week 3. Here you go, almost can't count. So could you guys see from the thumbnail what had changed in the workshop? I mean, this week's actually pretty easy. There's a green car where there was a blue car, but we'll get into that in a minute. Maybe at this point you've already seen my first engine teardown video, which was of the ABF, which is no longer on the stand. It's gone to the machine shop to get all measured and rehoned, and hopefully that's all going to be all good and proper. I'm not going to have to source another block because of some terrible honing. It shouldn't be the case. So that's going to be a cool project, and I can't wait for the engine to come back so I can start putting that stuff together and getting the engine detailed and show you guys all the black plated nuts and bolts that I've got for it, and it's all going to look very stealthy. This engine is going to be all black on black. So moving over here onto the bench, I've got loads of Mark II bits on the bench, and I'm starting to accumulate parts for Project Freebie as the engine's getting done, because I've done so much already mechanically wise with all the running gear, brakes, suspension, all the rest of it. That's all kind of covered now. But I do want to start tidying up the car. Oh, yes, it looks like a bag of... And the bodywork's not in great condition, but I do still want to tidy it up. So I got myself a really good condition rear bumper from Joel Piers. So if you're in Portugal and you need Mark II bits, he's the guy to hit up. Also got the number plate plinth. Also, as you guys can see here, I got the side moldings for the doors that are in really good condition. I actually had these in stock. This is what they started off like, and that's what they ended up like. I didn't use the hot air gun and used another trick on these. Also, another thing I'm going to do is the headlining is really in dire condition, and it's also, because it's a non-GTI, it's got that beige, kind of white, creamy kind of headlining. So I've also sourced, which I've had in stock, C-pillars, the boot trim, the sunroof surround, and also the handle. The sun visors already on there, the GTI ones. And also I've got up here on the shelf, a couple of these goods with no broken clips. Well, that's not a good one. Oh, here we go. There's a perfect one here with all the clips intact. And you get that all done in black material. Also going to upgrade the speakers. There's only one here. Got some original Hella amber indicators. Also, as the headlining is going to be down, I've also got a Mark IV bee sting with the Mark IV wiring loom. I took it off a car that I broke. So the next video on Project Freebie is going to cover quite a few bases. I might actually have to break it down into 2 videos, because I've also going to try my hand at detailing. Because the paintwork is so bad, I thought, hey, what the hell? Let me actually try and make it look a bit... I can't make it any worse, surely. And I'm not a detailer any shape, way or form. It's a journey that we're going to go on together. I could make a total hash of it. But hey, let's see how it works out. Make it look a bit more presentable, basically, is my plan. Also, I've got some bits coming from Works 34, which should be here as well next week. So yeah, so that is all in the works. So now, the car that's changed from the thumbnail. It's the Bon Jovi, guys. It's back. So it looks like finally it's 168 horsepower and 418 Newton meters of torque have killed the standard clutch. Maybe if it was me driving it, because I maybe drive a little bit more conservatively, applying that torque, it might have lost a little bit longer. But the new owner hasn't had that luxury. I mean, saying that, when did I get rid of this? I got rid of this in June last year, I think it was. So they've had it, you know, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. They've had it 6 months. So it's lasted them 6 months. So it's here for me to do the clutch for them. Also going to do the rear main, because that was always leaking. And I did say to them, if they ever did need a clutch to be done, I would cover the price of the rear main. I felt bad selling it to them with the rear main leaking. So, you know, I've bought them a new rear main seal. So I'm going to do that. So I might do a little video on this. I might not. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, it's looking still very tidy. The owner absolutely loves the car and the performance of it, and also the economy of it, because these old AFNs, they do perform well and great economy. And I think he actually lets his missus drive it most of the time, and she absolutely loves the heated seats. That's why if you've seen my Mark IV video or the Mark IV video thumbnail, how to do heated seats, the title is how to keep your girlfriend happy, because the women seem to love these heated seats. I don't know what it is, but yeah, It's got colour concept Recaros with VR6 door cards, also a 3.5 steering wheel and handles. Also even the key on this one as well, I've changed it to a 3.5 key and barrel, and all the door locks as well is all from, so you've got this kind of later style Mark IV key. The Bon Jovi actually originally came with these silver clocks, and obviously the Bon Jovi gear knob, and it's in dragon green, and the car is actually a really late one. It's actually registered in 97, so it's literally last of line car. I do miss it. I have been driving it for the last few days. It is a nice car. Definitely not as refined as the Mark IV, but it's a lot nicer to drive than a Mark IV. So moving over here, we have Project Open Air. So as you guys would have seen last week, I finally got it started. There's still an issue. The pump needs to be adjusted. I would have done it myself, but because the guy who's actually reconditioned the pump has all marked it up, I'm not going to go messing around with it, because then if there is any issues, he's going to say I've messed around with it. And the deal that we always had was that he would come and adjust it if I had any issues. So that's where we're at. So he's going to pop round and get this adjusted so that it runs cleanly and perfectly, and I'm not lacking diesel. And then at that point, it will be kind of start bug finding, make sure it doesn't overheat, the fans come on, bleed the brakes, bleed the clutch, get that all working, do the clocks, do some wiring. There's still loads of little niggly bits that need to be done on this. I need to wire the clocks up. It's hard to express the quality of the steering wheel and how nice this interior actually is in here. It just really sets off the car really nicely, but I'm losing track of what I'm talking about. So yes, I've still got to sort this loom. The clocks I've got myself a set of silver clocks, not the real ones I really want, which is an MFA, but those will come when I find them at the right price and at the right time. Also, I do have a little trick for you guys, which I'll show you in a future video. This is the original mirror, right, with the original fitting. And I've actually found a mirror. Yes, it's slightly bigger, has the same fitting, sits at the same angle, but it's actually light sensitive, so it will actually dim at night time, so you don't get blinded from lights behind. So that's a really nice touch, especially here in Portugal. The roads are quite dark. They're not normally illuminated, especially when you're out of the city, in the suburbs. Yeah, that's going to come in handy. It's a nice little touch to have on the car. And like I said, I've still got to do a few bits, put the speakers in. I've got, the reason why I haven't done that, you need to put that pin in for there. I've still got the lights in the car, some of them from that Christmas shoot when I did, where I showed you guys, where I showcased all the different lights, which would look better on the back of the car. Cover it. So moving over to the other side of the workshop and the E30 project, Project Donuts. My E30 325 Turbo looks like it hasn't changed, and it really hasn't changed. Nothing's changed on it at all, apart from maybe a few bits that was on it that weren't on it last week. But something actually major has happened, or will happen tomorrow. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched, but once that deal is done, this is going to move forward with great speed in Feb. So yeah, watch this space. It might not be to everyone's taste on the channel, because you guys obviously seem to be really enjoying the Mark II and the Mark III content. But if you're into cars, you still appreciate this is an icon. This is a hero car, 325, you know, from the 80s. It's iconic, you know, one of the BMW's most iconic shapes and cars ever. Yes, it's not an M3, but it's still an amazing car. And if you're into your cars, you're going to appreciate this, right, guys? Surely, especially with a turbo on it. It might actually put a few projects to the side, because I really need to get this finished, because I need to get this back into the UK for April, late April, if possible. I don't want to kind of stretch it into May. I want to get this done. Going round to the junk area. The engine's still here, the PD, the guy hasn't come to pick it up yet. I'm in no rush, he's in no rush, so I guess it is what it is. And what else can I say about the workshop this week? Nothing left. I think I've sold a few grills. I've accumulated some more GTD airboxes, one of which is going to be for Project Freebie, which I've already put to one side. This shelf here is all for Project Freebie. Yep, got the GTD airbox, which has got these nice little lines and it fits perfectly with the ABF bits and bobs. And that's what else have I accumulated. I've accumulated a fuel line. You would not believe what a mission this is with these fuel lines on the ABF. My memory card ran out of memory, so I don't know where this is cut out at. Hopefully I'm at the spot where it cut out and this looks seamless and it works. But if it doesn't, then you know why. So these ABF fuel rails, if you've had an ABF, you know that this thing's unique to the ABF. I mean, why did VW do this? Why not just use a normal fuel rail of some kind of sort? I know they were limited on space. They could have thought of something better than these side feed injectors. Anyway, they did it. The injectors integrated into it. If you put a 4-bar fuel pressure regulator, it'll give you enough fuel potentially to meet easily the limit of the plenum manifold anyway, which is about the 190s, maybe close to 200s if you do a lot of work. And you're at the right dyno at the right time on the right day. But that's another story. Back onto this fuel rail. I'm not joking with you guys. I actually have about 4 or 5 of these fuel rails. And can you believe I only have one fuel line? The other one I have is broken. And the connectors on this seem to be unique to this. I've tried to do a little bit of research to see if they're on Nissans or Peugeots or anything. And as far as I can see, I can't see this connector in any other manufacturer. I don't know if you guys maybe know of what that is. I mean, I'll show you what it looks like here. For you guys that don't know what it looks like, it's this odd little shape of a fuel line. And I've literally had to go and buy another complete fuel rail. So these are those connectors. As you can see, it's kind of like a push-on fitting that holds them in place. So I've literally had to buy a whole rail because it had the 2 connectors on there. So that's one bit of the puzzle for the ABF sorted. The only other thing now that I think is going to hold me up, which I'm going to order from Germany, is going to be the lower crank pulley, because I want to change that and put a brand new bolt on it so I'll have no issues in the future. Alright guys, so that's it then really for week 3 of the Friday workshop. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's giving you some more context on all the projects that's going on, and it puts a bit more meat on the bone. And don't forget to see if you can spot the difference in the thumbnails every week. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Click on the notification button. Be safe.